Hello everyone, welcome to the TheFunKnow. Today's topic is going to be speed. So, how can we tell if an object in motion is moving fast or slow? You can calculate that by calculating its speed. What is speed? Speed is the rate at which an object covers distance. Speed is that quantity which tells you how fast an object is moving. The SI unit of speed is meter per second. Let's consider this example. Here you can see that the red car took 1 hour to cover 10 kilometers, whereas the blue car took 2 hours to cover 10 kilometers. So just by looking at it, you can tell that the red car is moving at a much higher speed than the blue car. But how much faster? For that, you need to calculate its speed. So, how to find speed? To find speed of any object, you need two things: the distance traveled by the object and the time taken by the object to travel that distance. Here's the formula to find speed. Speed is equal to distance over time. The types of speed are uniform speed, variable speed, instantaneous speed, and average speed. Let's start with uniform speed. If an object covers equal distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be moving with uniform speed. Let's take this example. Here, let's consider a car is moving and it covered 60 kilometers in 6 hours. So, in 1 hour, it covered 10 kilometers. In 20 kilometers, it traveled in 2 hours. So, each hour it is traveling 10 kilometers. So you can see that the interval between the distance is equal. See, 20 minus 10 is 10, 30 minus 20 is 10, 40 minus 30 is 10, 60 minus 50 is 10, and the intervals between the time is also same. 2 minus 1, 1, 3 minus 2 is 1. So when there is equal interval in the distance and time, this is an example of uniform speed. Variable speed. If an object covers different distance in equal interval of time, it is said to be moving with variable speed. Let's consider a train example. If a train covers 10 kilometers in 10 minutes and next 5 kilometers in 10 minutes, this is an example of variable speed. See, here the train covered 10 kilometers in the first trip. See, in 10 kilometers in 10 minutes, and in the second stage it covered 5 kilometers in 10 minutes. It means that the train decreased its speed. So this is an example of variable speed. Let's take another example. Here a car is traveling, and in 1 hour it traveled 10 kilometers, in 2 hours it traveled 15 kilometers, in 3 hours it traveled 30 kilometers, and in 4 hours it traveled 50 kilometers. So you can see that the interval between the time is equal. 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, but if you look at the distance, it is not equal. You see, 15 minus 10 is 5, 30 minus 15 is 15. So it means that the car which is traveling is decreasing its speed and then increasing its speed. So there is no uniformity here. So the speed is variable, or you can say it is non-uniform. Instantaneous speed. When an object is moving with variable speed, then the speed of that object at any instant of time is known as instantaneous speed. Let's take an example of a speedometer. You might have seen this speedometer in a car. So this speedometer only shows you the speed at which you are at that instant in time. For example, if you are in the suburbs, where there you might be traveling at 30 miles per hour, whereas if you are on the freeway, you might be traveling at 150 miles per hour. So the speed that you see in this is the speed that you are at that instant of time. So this is an example of instantaneous speed. Average speed. Average speed is defined as the uniform speed which is given by the ratio of total distance traveled by an object to the total time taken by the object. So let's take this example. If a bike covers 10 kilometers in 2 hours and 20 kilometers in 1 hour, then the average speed of a bike will be 10 kilometers per hour. So how did we find this out? So we'll find it out now. So how to find average speed? So here's the formula to find average speed. To find average speed, you need to know the total distance and total time taken. If you don't have these two values, you won't be able to calculate the average speed. So let's see the process of finding the average speed. If an object travels with speed s1 for a time interval t1 and with speed s2 for a time interval t2. So here you can see that the speed is given and the time is given, but the distance is not given. So we first find out the distance. So distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. You can see total distance is equal to the first speed multiplied the first time plus second speed multiplied by the second time. And to find out the total time, you just add the two times. So now that you have time and distance, you can find out the average speed by computing these two values. You take the total distance and the total time and you divide it and you get the average speed. So if an object covers a distance d1 with a speed s1 and then distance d2 with speed s2. So here the distance is given and the speed is also given. But so the total distance, you just have to add these two, distance 1 and distance 2. But the time is not given. So first we need to find out the time. So time is equal to distance over speed. So total time is equal to, you take the first distance divided by the first speed plus second distance, which is the d2, divided by s2, the second speed which is given. And once you find the time and distance, you can easily calculate the average speed. So let's solve some problems. Sam rode his bike for 4 hours at 50 kilometers per hour and 2 hours at 20 kilometers per hour. Find the average speed. Here you can see that the time is given and the speed is given, but the distance is not given. And you need distance to find out the average speed. So first we find out the distance. So we know that distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. So first we take the first one. In 4 hours it covered 50 kilometers, so 4 multiplied by 50. It gives us 200 kilometers. Then we'll take the second one. 2 hours it covered the distance of 20 kilometers per hour. So 2 multiplied by 20 and we get 40 kilometers. So now we have the total distance, which is 200 plus 40, which is 240 kilometers. So now that we have the distance, we calculate the time, which is 4 plus 2. You see, 4 hours plus 2 hours and it gives us 6 hours. So now that we have total time and total distance covered, now we can easily calculate the average speed. So average speed is equal to total distance over total time taken. So the average speed is equal to 240 kilometers. So the total distance is 240 kilometers divided by 6 hours. So it gives you 40 kilometers per hour, because when you divide 240 by 6, you get 40. So 40 kilometers per hour. See, let's take another example. A bike covers 100 kilometers with a speed of 50 kilometers per hour and 200 kilometers with a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Find the average speed. So here the speed is given, that there are two speed which are given, which is, let's say this is speed 1 and this is speed 2. So S1 and S2 will denote it. So 50 kilometers per hour and 20 kilometers per hour. So, and the distance we will denote it as D1 and D2, which is 100 kilometers and D2 is 200 kilometers. So what is not there? You can see that the distance is there and the speed is there, but the time is not there. So first we add the two distances, which is the 100 kilometer and 200 kilometer, and now we get 300. So we have total distance. Now we'll try finding out the total time. So for that, the formula is time is equal to distance over speed. So the total time is equal to d1 upon s1. See, the first distance divided by the first speed plus the second distance divided by the second speed. So it gives you 100 divided by 50 plus 200 divided by 20, which gives you 2 plus 10 is equal to 12. Now that you have total time and total distance, now we can calculate the average speed, which is total distance over total time is equal to 300 divided by 12. You see, 300 is the total distance and the total time is 12. So once you calculate this, we get 25 kilometers per hour. So let's take another example. Jack rode his bike 3 kilometers per hour for 6 kilometers and 5 kilometers per hour for 10 kilometers. Find the average speed. So pause the video and try to calculate this and try to find the average speed on your own. Okay, let's check out the solution. Here we know that the first speed which is given, what is it? 3 kilometers per hour, and the second speed, which is S2, is 5 kilometers per hour, and the distance given is 6 kilometers and 10 kilometers. So here the speed is given and the distance is given, but the time is not given. So we first add the distance, which is 6 and 10, and we get 16 kilometers. Now we'll try to calculate the time. So time is equal to distance divided by speed. So the total time is equal to, you take the first distance, which is 6 kilometers divided by 3 plus 10 kilometers divided it by 5, which gives you 6 divided by 3 gives you 2, 10 divided by 5 gives you 2, which is equal to 4. So now that you have total time and total distance, you can calculate average speed. So average speed is equal to total distance over total time, which is 16 divided by 4, which gives you 4 kilometers per hour. Were you able to get this answer? So I'll see you in the next one.